Hey Sherpa users, new exciting dashboard update. Before you could only check your stats per day in your dashboard based on per user usage, but now we have quite a bit more going on here that will allow you to compare your campaigns to see what's working and what is not. So let's go ahead and walk through each of these components. First things first, your active campaigns. We have 115 active campaigns, and then we list how many leads, how many sends, our delivery rate and response rate are totaled or averaged across all of these active campaigns. And so these stats are pretty awesome. 94% delivery rate. We always want to see 85% or higher. And a 36% response rate is really awesome, especially considering we have some follow-up campaigns in there, follow-up campaigns in there, which tend to get a lower response rate. Once you've hit somebody once or twice and you're following up, they're less likely to respond. And so those get lower response rates. And so a 36% response rate overall is awesome. Next, we can move over to our first campaign comparison tool. We're still figuring out exactly what to do here in regard to what is the highest performing and lowest performing metrics. Right now, it's based off of just delivery rate and response rate. If you do have suggestions or want to see changes about how this is calculated, feel free to pop them in the feedback tab here. As you can see, we don't have any leads in this campaign, but we have 5 in this campaign, but with 13,000 messages sent. And so because campaigns can vary so much, it's hard to say exactly what should measure the highest performing and lowest performing. So again, if you have feedback, just pop it in the tab. But this is also a really great place where you can just come and easily select your campaigns to quickly get the stats from the last 30 days here instead of going into each campaign as well. Only your campaigns from the last 30 days will show up here as an option for selection. Then here we can come down to our actual campaign comparison tool where you can select 1 and 2 campaigns. We can go back to see if we have any more. Let's see if that brings up any more. So it brings up 1 more for us. We do some large campaigns that last us a long time. If you do a lot of campaigns in a month, kind of segment your list a little more, you'll have more options here to select to compare your different campaigns. When you actually have them selected, you can hover over these bars to see the stats that actually go into each of the graphs. And you can identify response rates here. And of course, all of these colors coordinate with each other. So our dark blue is this campaign and our aqua color is this campaign. Next, we can move down to our leaderboards. This is what you are used to seeing or have always had. However, we now have a date selector, so you can select, the last week. You can select the last month. You can select the last year. We haven't been very active lately, as you can see here. We've been so busy working on developments and feature updates for the system that we haven't been that active in the investing market side of things. However, you can also make this also a little more accurate. So not only is it better that you can have a date selection now, but you always want to make sure that your reps have a 10-minute or less response time. And before, this was always just calculated based off of normal office hours, but not everybody works between 9 and 6. And so if you were working shorter hours, but responses were coming in after hours, it was skewing these stats a little bit. And so people tended to maybe overlook them. However, you can now make this accurate to the hours you're working. So 1, you can come to your account settings page and just select your company start and end time. But if users are not even working your company start and end time, you can set up user-specific hours here, start, end time, so that their response time, their average response time, is calculated within the hours that they're actually working. So then, once you have that set up, if the average response time is not 10 minutes or less, then that user has some cleaning up to do, some work to do to get that response time down. We don't want to leave people too long waiting for a response. With text, people expect a response right away. So those are all the updates to the dashboard for now. We do have some more items coming fairly soon that are being worked on. But right away, you can start kind of comparing all of your lists, your campaigns, and seeing what works well and pulling date data according to weeks, months, years if you want, whatever you need. If you do have questions about any of this or if anything looks off to you in your account, please let us know. Just reach out to support@leadsherpa.com.